Cruz.
Guilty on all counts. The jury reaching that verdict today in Chad Daybell's triple murder trial.
The so-called doomsday author is now convicted of murdering his wife, Lori Vallow's two kids, Tylee and JJ, who used to live here in the Valley. He's also convicted for killing his first wife, Tammy Daybell.
12 News journalist Erica Stapleton has been following this case for the last 4 years. It's been a long road, Erica. Prosecutors have said they will pursue the death penalty.
Yeah, Mark and Caribe, that guilty verdict came really quick, that death penalty on the table. And keep in mind, this was less than a day after the case went to the jury. The jurors were clear, though, and now it'll be up to that same jury to decide if Chad Daybell could get the death penalty.
Is Chad Guy Daybell not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan? Guilty. Is Chad Guy Daybell not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow? Guilty.
Chad Daybell guilty on all 8 counts, including first-degree murder in the deaths of his wife Lori Vallow's 2 kids, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow, and first-degree murder in the death of his first wife, Tammy Daybell.
Is Chad Guy Daybell not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Tammy Daybell? Guilty.
The state laid out a lot of evidence to prove that Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow's dark religious beliefs led them to have an affair and get rid of anyone who could get in the way of their relationship. The defense tried to blame Lori Vallow and her brother, but the jury was quick to convict Chad Daybell. With this phase of the trial over, the judge says they'll move to the sentencing phase, where the same jury will decide whether Chad Daybell should receive the death penalty. Chad Daybell didn't testify and remained emotionless through much of his trial, up to the verdict. Not so for others in the courtroom. A moment for JJ Vallow's grandparents, Kay and Larry Woodcock, seeking justice and answers for more than 4 years.
I was praying for a just verdict, and we got it.
And Erica, you've been covering this story for years. Were you surprised by the verdict?
Honestly, no. I was surprised it came as quickly as it did. But if you look to Lori Vallow's case, Chad Daybell's wife, she was convicted in this case last year on all counts, including murder, sentenced to life in prison in Idaho. So if you use that as a blueprint, you could have expected that maybe this will happen to Chad Daybell too, and it certainly did. But keep in mind that these were 2 trials. So Lori Vallow's, now Chad Daybell's, that the victims and the families of the victims have had to go through. So they're going to play a key role now in Chad Daybell's case as he moves forward, many of them planning to give impact statements starting tomorrow morning as they move into that sentencing phase.
Yeah, so the jury still has to decide that, and then the judge has to
issue the sentence sometime, we're expecting likely later this summer. So definitely a lot to stay tuned for, but right now we have an answer.
And some closure for the families.
Indeed, yes.
All right, Erica, thank you.